What's up, kayak anglers? Here we are 10 days away from our second event of the year. This one's at Pymatuning. It's on Saturday, May 9th. And this is not an AOI qualifier, just like Cross Creek was not. Our first one will be Battle of the Border, which is on May 30th. That'll be the first Angler of the Year qualifier. But this one is an open event. We were limited to the number of participants at the first one. So this one at Pymatuning, we are not limited. So another note about Pymatuning is we're able to launch at any launch, okay? So here's how it's going to work. At 7 o'clock, we're going to do the captain's meeting, or just before 7, and at 7, the folks who want to launch at Wilson can take off in their boat, and the folks who want to drive to another launch can leave the parking lot at that time. So whether you're leaving by car or by boat, you're going to be leaving the launch at the same time, 7 a.m. Okay, so if you have questions about where you're launching, if you're not really sure if you can park there, if it's a legal launch, please contact the state park. Dan Bickle at Pymatuning State Park will be happy to tell you, if it's a legal place to launch, if it's okay to leave your car there, and so you have a clear conscience about that. But any launch is within bounds. Just need to be back to Wilson at 3 p.m. Here's the deal. If you are using your cell phone to submit your fish, you can do so from the water using our live scoring system, which is at kayakfishingseries.com. If you have a digital camera and you do not have a smartphone, you need to be back by 2:30. That way we can get your fish in the system and we can keep it as close to 3 o'clock as we can to close out the event. Now, if you have a cell phone, but you do not have service at Pymatuning, and I can tell you the service will be a lot better than it was at Cross Creek, you can still come back at 3 o'clock and we'll set up a Wi-Fi connection and you can submit your fish to the system still using your phone, just using our Wi-Fi connection rather than your data. Alright, so just a little bit about Pymatuning. I mentioned Wilson Launch. Wilson Launch is in the northeast corner of the lake. There is another Wilson Road, and it is in the southern area of the lake. So whenever you're getting yourself mapped to the lake, when you're checking it out, and there's a map link on the website, kayakfishingseries.com, just make sure you're going to the northeast corner of the lake and then you're not at the southern end of the lake when 7 o'clock rolls around. A little bit about Pymatuning. It's a really busy lake this time of year. It's the only lake in Pennsylvania where you can hold a tournament because it's also in Ohio. So, the Ohio launches are also in bounds. If you are wondering about a license, here's the deal. All you need is a Pennsylvania or an Ohio fishing license to fish it from a boat. That's not true from shore. But from a boat, from a kayak, you can have a Pennsylvania or Ohio fishing license and you can fish the entire lake. So you do need your launch permit or whatever your state requires. Make sure you have that. So in terms of the other things that you need, okay, you need a PFD. There's no question about it. Bring a PFD, okay? You also need a whistle. Now, if you don't have a whistle and you're a KA member, there will be some whistles there that you can have. Okay, you also need a hog trough, okay? We have one standard measuring board, and that's a hog trough. So if you don't have one, the folks at fishingonline.com will be on site. Just let them know beforehand that you'd like to purchase one. They'll have it there for you. And I mentioned cell phone submitting from the water. What we're going to do is we're going to put up a link on kayakanglers.com in the day before the event, and it's going to be for the event, for the Pymatuning event on May 9th. I would recommend getting that page on your phone before the event even starts. On your way to the lake, however you want to do it, just be ready to submit fish on that page. Put it in the background, but whenever you come to it, that way you'll be there ready to submit the fish. I recommend choosing your camera to submit the fish, taking a look at the picture after you do, and keeping the fish in the water. Make sure your identifier's in there. So your identifier is going to be on your KA lanyard. Okay. If you don't have one of these will be at the event as well. But if you remember last year or you were at Cross Creek, you should have a lanyard. Okay, now, so check your picture, make sure everything's in it, make sure it's good to go, and then you're going to submit it to the site. Now, Seth put together a nice how-to on how to submit fish, and it's on kayakanglers.com under the resources page. Be sure to check that out if you have questions about it. If you'd like to submit a fish using the system before the event, go ahead and do it. Just shoot a message over to info@kayakanglers.com, let us know that you did, and we'll make sure to clean the system out. There should be a good bit of boat traffic on Pymatuning. There's a couple other tournaments there that day. The fishing's been great historically this time of year, so we really look to have a great event. And we're going to try something fun this year where we're going to add a little bit of team aspect to it. The River's Edge, one of our sponsors, has added $100 cash to the top team. So here's what we're going to do. Make sure on kayakfishingseries.com you're registered and your name's on the list by Thursday. And Thursday night, we're going to pick random teams, and then we're going to see how you do tournament day. We're going to figure out who the best team was out there, and you're going to get $100 cash from the River's Edge. So it's going to be random. It's going to be fun. So that should be something pretty cool to see if we should incorporate in the future tournaments. This is our first of 2 stops at Pymatuning this year. The second one's on May 30th. It's going to be a really big event. It's going to be with a group in Ohio, and it's going to be in a group with West Virginia, and we're all going to come together. We're going to call it Battle at the Border, and it's going to be a really big one. But get to know the lake at this first event. Come out, have a good time. Entry's only going to be $20. 15 of that goes straight to the pot, and it's paid back out. 5 goes to Unity, A Journey for Hope, which is our selected charity this year. So come out, have a good time, learn the lake, get to see some friends you've been talking to online this year, and it's going to be a blast. Have a safe trip there, and we'll see you.